So this is what we're having today. It's the curry from yesterday, which was totally instant and easy, just slow cooker. And then in spaghetti squash, which I baked up with organic zucchini and mushroom, and sauerkraut on the side. And James is having it with some toast, and his has coconut milk in the curry, but it's about the same. Okay. And I'm going to be talking about the last disc of this Ancient Civilizations of North America. Great course that James and I have been enjoying from the library system from Edmonton. I got it in through town. And I wanted to mention one thing about the curry is when you're cooking up when you cook up any beans or whatever, when you're looking at the amount of protein listed for any kind of bean or pea or lentil, it's actually not accurate because it's not a complete protein. So if you don't get the other essential amino acids that you require over the course of the day, it could be any time over the day, but if you don't get them, then you don't get that protein. You don't get the complete protein. So it's then just burnt off like anything else, like fat or whatever. It's just not it's not going to be absorbed as protein, right? So you have to combine it with other things. So James is having the toast, so that would provide the amino acids that the peas are missing. And I'm having this brown rice, whatever, and the brown rice, again, if I had this with rice, it would be complete protein. So, and I guess I am, because I'm having it with rice cakes. Because as it turns out, I don't have a lot of rice in the house. And what I do have is white, and I don't really want to use that right now. So, that's what I'm eating. And I'll be enjoying this same curry a number of ways this week. So that's just one way to eat it. You could eat it plain like I had it yesterday, or like James had it in the sourdough bowl with the coconut milk, or you can saute up some vegetables in some, I like wine, sauteing it in wine. The alcohol leaves, you're not left with alcohol in your food. It just leaves a really nice taste to it. So, but you could use water if you want to in your cast iron pan. Anyway, Ancient Civilizations of North America, Disc 4. And it starts out with chapter 19 and the Chaco phenomenon. They used tree ring data to date the Chaco Canyon civilization, and the people were into like solstice, sort of full moon. I don't know what I was writing here. That's not a word. So, anyway, I was watching this very early in the morning, and I don't know what I was writing there. Anyway, so you might have to look back to for more information. I'm going to watch it a second time and go through, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just trying to encourage you to maybe be interested in it and look to it for yourself. So, honestly, if I'm missing some data here, that's a good thing. You can look for it for yourself. So, I drew a picture, because I do things like that, rather than writing. And I drew a picture of the sun dagger spiral thingy. And it shows it not only tells the, it well, anyway, it marks the lunar cycle as well as it's not just like the sun dagger, it's obviously what that's for, but there's 9.5 turns of a spiral, and then that marks the 18.6 year lunar cycle with the shadows, not with the knives of light. So anyway, then which I happen to be more interested in that. So once he started talking about moon, I'm like, there we go. So I started drawing pictures and whatever. So it shows the one side of the spiral, shows the 0 degrees, the equinox shadow, and then through the middle of the shadow is the 18.4 degrees minor standstill of the moon, and then at the other edge of the spiral is the major standstill of the moon, 28.7 degrees. So if you can kind of picture that spiral. I can show you my picture, but it's just a spiral with a couple lines through it, so I think you can picture it. In 1989, the slabs had moved, and we heard that from another disc, right? Which actually, when I was learning about the Stonehenge stuff, that's what made me think, oh, I should look into this. So I get started looking into things from other great courses, and this one was far better than the other one, I have to say. But I enjoyed both. So in the other one I'd learned about the slabs moving, and I'm like, dang, that's terrible, because I guess there was, all of a sudden there was a lot of, because, okay, this, the spiral and sun dagger and this was research done by Solstice Project. So this is like a private interest group or whatever, right? They're not professors, so they weren't taken seriously by the academic community. Really, they were well, you know what it would be like, right? So the Solstice Project, they were doing a lot of research on this. They were really interested in this, and the academic community was just like, you don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, but because of all of this hype, I guess, publicity, a lot of people became interested in actually seeing the site. So there was way more foot traffic than the site was accustomed to having for a long time. So and because of foot traffic, it wasn't they didn't suspect foul play or anything like that, or like, what would you call it, vandalism, I guess. They didn't suspect anything like that. It's just because the foot traffic, the stones moved. So, or one of them did, and only by 6 centimeters, but it messed up the shadows. All of a sudden, the thing that had worked forever didn't work anymore. And anyway, so Fajada Butte was closed to the public. Solstice Project made a model of the spiral type and gifted it for public use, and people play around with that and have a lot of fun. North, south, east, west alignment for architecture of the area. Honor, north. Know what I was writing there. Otherworld, place of dead, winter solstice. They're honoring the north, the otherworld, the place of the dead. Winter solstice, more common in canyon than summer solstice alignments. Solar alignments were obvious, but when they looked, they also found lunar alignments. 24 degrees, lunar minimum, 36 degrees, lunar maximum. There were lunar minimum alignments, full moon alignments every 18.6 years. 7 great houses with direct lunar alignments. A couple had lunar maximum alignments. There were a few more. Pueblo Alto is cardinal oriented, but if you extend its lunar minimum lines out, you hit Quinbiniola, 11 miles to the southwest, and Pueblo Pintado, 16 miles to the southeast. Great houses are also aligned with each other. I write short form, so I'll put like W/ is with. W/O is without, and E/O is each other. So there's a lot of things that I've abbreviated, like I have change is just a triangle, approximately is just a pew, and I have a lot of different, so Yeah, and O might be other in this case. It might also be out, and there's a bit of, sometimes it takes me a little while to figure out what I was writing because anyway, sorry about that. Horizon-based astronomy. Sun at Chaco Canyon can rise and set at maximum of 30 degrees off the east-west line. Solstices. The moon can travel approximately 6 degrees farther out from the solstice maximum, but does so at full only every 18.6 years. The rest of the time it moves through stable solstice standstill point, reaching minimum standstill of 6 degrees less than solstice at 9.3 years, or half the full cycle. 7 great houses have lunar minimum alignments: Chetro, Kettle, Quinpletso, Pueblo del Arroyo, and Pueblo Pintado and Salmon Ruins. Each had primary axis within 2 degrees of lunar minimum standstill. Peñasco Blanco, and you know what? I'm really hungry. I'm going to pause this and then I'll start again in a bit.